9 overpriced designer bags that, unless you love, I would avoid potentially making a very costly mistake. I'm going to be sharing some cheaper alternatives that you might want to consider instead. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Steph. The first overpriced bag on our list actually baffles me. Like, I have watched the price of this bag crawl to new heights over the last year, and I can understand why to a degree. So this is the Hermes Pochette bag. The reason that I think this bag is wildly overpriced is that if you know Hermes, you might understand the Hermes game, and you can't easily walk into a store and go and buy one of these Hermes Pochettes. Which then means the price of these on the resale market are out of this world. This pochette already retails, okay, I believe in the UK around £5,200, which I have some fantastic alternatives for. But not only that, if you can't get one from Hermes, which most people can't, and you decide to buy one on the pre-loved market, you are looking at £10,000 all the way up to, I have seen them, 15,000, 20,000. I remember when you could get these for closer to retail, but I think what has happened is we've had the mini Kelly bag from Hermes become incredibly popular, so that has driven prices up. The mini Kelly is even harder to get, I believe, than the Pochette. So it kind of makes sense because they're a similar size of bag, they're kind of a similar style almost as well, that the Pochette is now catching up with the price of the mini Kelly bag. But it absolutely baffles me because I would definitely consider these alternatives. The first one, and I think this bag is so chic, I'm on the cusp, hopefully, of maybe getting one myself. This is the Bottega Andiamo clutch. Now, I have a few Bottega bags in my collection and the quality of them is exceptional. I also think how elongated this bag is and the knot detail, how it closes. We've got the top handle as well, which is very similar to the Pochette. I think it's gorgeous, and this one retails, okay, still an expensive bag, but nowhere near as expensive as the Hermes Pochette. You can buy one brand new, no games, go into store. They have some really beautiful colorways as well, for around £2,200 in the UK. Some of the metallic ones I think are slightly more expensive, around $2,500 in the US. It's even got inside lots of card slots, so you could put your cards in there. You wouldn't need to take a card holder or a purse out with you. And because it's so long, from the reviews that I've seen, you can actually fit quite a lot inside. It is a bit of a shame this doesn't have a detachable strap with it, so you can't really crossbody or shoulder it. But I think just as a really elevated clutch with a top handle at a premium quality point and no Hermes games, this one is a fantastic alternative. And an even cheaper alternative to this one is the Savette Symmetry pouch. They have these in suede, and this is a very beautiful bag. It's quiet luxury, very in line with Hermes's Pochette, and arguably I think the Symmetry pouch from Savette and the Andiamo may be better looking, a little bit more unique. They have a bit more style to them whilst being quiet luxury. Now, speaking of Pochettes being overpriced, the second bag on our list is another culprit. This is the Louis Vuitton Pochette accessoire. Now, this bag, this is not a bag, this is a pouch, okay? It used to retail, I believe, around 160 to 200 pounds. Tiny little bag, quite cute to keep your cosmetics in inside another bag, but people soon latched onto this because it does come with a strap with it as well. Maybe put longer straps on it and use it as an actual like mini bag. Since then, Louis Vuitton have hiked the price up, of course they have. The mini Pochette accessoire now retails at a mind-blowing £550 in the UK, $795 in the US, like nearly $800 for this tiny little zipped pochette. I cannot. Let's remember right now that this is a canvas bag. Canvas is not leather, it is a coated cotton canvas. That is what this is, with a strap attached to it. There are much better alternatives, I think, to this. If you're still looking for a designer piece, I would look to Saint Laurent. You can actually get a full leather, kind of small pouch bag here, but it does have a longer strap with it. You've got multiple colours, again, full leather bag with the YSL on the front. It even has on the back a little pocket, so you could put little bits in there. Maybe you could get your phone in there. I'm not too sure if one would fit or not, but I think for the same price point, you are getting a far superior product here from Saint Laurent. Now, a much more affordable version of a pouch would be this pouch with this pillow quilted effect from Coach. Coach definitely doesn't have the gravitas that a Louis Vuitton bag does. I totally get that. Not gonna hold its value anywhere near as well as Louis Vuitton either. That being said, I think this from Coach is more of a superior product, being a full leather piece. Leathers from Coach can actually be quite nice. So if you're not so fussed about the Louis Vuitton monogram being everywhere, you might want to consider this cheaper alternative. The third overpriced bag on our list, I own this bag, and I actually got this before the last price increase. In fact, the last two price increases. I now think you could possibly say that this bag is overpriced, and again, I've got some great alternatives. Which bag is it? It is none other than the Saint Laurent Icare tote bag. This is an absolute statement piece. I still really like this bag. I love the way that it looks, and you've just got all this beautiful lambskin leather with the big YSL logo on the front. That being said, I paid for mine directly from the brand, brand new. This was £3,150. This now retails at £3,755 in the UK, $4,900 in the US. That is an increase of just over £600 of what I originally paid for this bag. Now, if you love this, again, if you love any of these, it's a piece that you really, really want, go and buy one. I mean, I did, but I don't know if I would pay the new price for this one. So what would I consider some better alternatives? The alternative that I am going to recommend is, I believe, a better bag in some ways. I'll go through those ways. And the retail price of it costs less than the price increase we have seen on this bag. And the quality is really nice. If you can get over not having the big YSL logo, the alternative I would go with is RSVP's parachute bag. So as you can see, let me move back to show you a little bit. They are very similar in terms of the shape. Now, there are some reasons that I actually prefer this bag, which retails currently around £565 in the UK versus your £3,755 Saint Laurent. We have a bigger strap drop, so this one actually sits nicer on the arm. This is much closer to the armpit, making it harder to wear with like big coats, for example, and I find this just more comfortable to kind of put your arm over like so. You can get inside this bag easier. Look how wide it opens out. We also have a pocket on the front. We have this big pocket on the back as well, whereas we have none of that on the Icare. And when you put these bags down, okay, this one has a flat bottom, so it actually stands up quite nicely. It has like a little magnetic closure. This, on the other hand, does not have a flat bottom. You can kind of sit this down, but it is lambskin leather, but it kind of just slouches and falls in on itself like this. So there are lots of pros right now for the RSVP over the Icare. Again, I will pop links down below in the description so that you can shop along with this video super easily, including to the parachute. This is the medium size. They did used to do an extra large. They don't do that anymore, which I'm pretty sad about because it was epic. They also have this, I believe, in a small size. They have different colors, and also there is a chocolate suede version of this bag. I think you're now able to pre-order it. They also only do really limited runs of the bags. So each bag actually gets a number, and it might be that they will only produce, say, 500 of this bag. And once they finish that production run, they won't make the bag again. So it feels like you're getting a more exclusive piece. Now, as well as curating this list just based on my own observations, I did actually ask some of you over on Instagram, what bags do you think are overpriced right now? And the Icare came up, but more specifically, the Raffia version, which I can't quite believe, actually more expensive than the black lambskin version. The Raffia version of this retails at £4,120, $5,300. This is wild to me. Thank you for reminding me. I actually checked this. I couldn't believe the price was more. I thought it would be cheaper, but it's not. An alternative to the Saint Laurent Icare Raffia bag, with it being very kind of summer vibes. A Loewe basket bag. I think these are so beautiful. Loewe is very much a cool brand right now. Super on trend. And one with all this raffia with the anagram logo on the front and long straps so you can wear it easily as a shoulder bag. It also has shorter handles as well, so way more versatile. This retails at £775 in the UK, around $1,250. A huge saving on the Icare tote. one that I love, but I don't know if we can continue to justify. The fourth overpriced bag on our list is another one that I've got in my collection, but mine was limited edition and I did get it pre-loved. But the price of this bag over the years has just escalated, and I'm sorry to say, this is one of the most iconic bags ever. So again, if you love this bag and this is what you really, really want, definitely go and get one if you want one brand new. But I do think it's slightly overpriced now when we look at the alternatives. This is Louis Vuitton's Neverfull tote bag. Probably the most popular bag in the world. Mine is the one where Steven Sprouse collaborated with the brand, hence the bright neon flowers covering this. This has been my favorite print on this bag of all time, so that's why I've got one, and I don't think I'll ever be parting with this. But if you decide you want one, this is the MM size, which is the most popular size of the bag, and you want to buy one brand new now from store, you are looking at £1,430 in the UK. Again, canvas. This is not leather, only the leather trim is actually leather. And not only that, if you want one of the new reversible Neverfulls, which I quite like, you can reverse them and have the cotton outside. I mean, you can do this on the older ones anyway, if you really want to, but there we go. Louis Vuitton have brought it out and selling it as reversible. You do also get a strap with this one as well, so that is worth noting. It is a slightly different bag. £1,720 for the privilege of being able to turn your bag inside out, which you can do anyway on the other ones, and then to have this longer strap on. That kind of feels like to me that Louis Vuitton are trying to force people to pay around £300 for this strap because it's kind of the same bag. Now let's move on to some great price alternatives. I have a really good one that I just love. And the alternative, I think, is far superior in terms of its quality. You're going to save yourself a fair chunk of change by buying it, and some of the colours are beautiful. I love this bag so much, I actually have two of them right now. I do need to get rid of one of them, but it is the Coach Empire bag. This is a genuine full grain leather bag, and this is quite new. I'm waiting for it to slouch more. This is in the beautiful Merlot colourway, so we kind of have a burnishing of the colour. You can see the darker edges. We have feet on the bottom of the bag. We have a zipper for security. It does come with a longer strap as well, so you can shoulder and crossbody it. And I don't know if you can tell, but just like the sturdiness of the handles, like this is just such a great bag. Holding these both in my hands, honestly, this one just feels much better quality than the canvas Neverfull. The Empire does come in a few different sizes, so you can find the perfect size for you. And this size, which is the 40 size, very popular size, great for work, will fit a nice laptop inside, iPad diary, like no issues. £695. So let's get this straight. You would be saving around £700, around probably $1,000, if not more, in the US by buying this better quality, very beautiful bag versus the Neverfull from LV. And that's not the only contender I think you should consider if you do want a Neverfull. There are some new contemporary indie brands that have been exploding over the last few years. One of them is Pelen. This is the Syme tote bag. Again, this is a full leather bag for a fraction of the price. I believe they retail around £450. This one is the regular size. You can get a smaller size as well, which I have here. This is the smaller one. How cute are these? You can wear them in different ways as well with the straps. Probably even better again for £495. We have D'Amelia's New York tote bag. Again, a full leather bag. These are so chic. This is the regular size. You can also get, I have just received the midi size. Mine is in a chocolate suede. This is just amazing. Great for work. Great for every day. Really, really beautiful bags. And let me just quickly show you the New York versus the Neverfull. Some big savings to be had here. Overpriced bag number 5 is one from Prada. This one kept getting mentioned on Instagram, and not only that, I recently did a video call with Tanner Leatherstein and he mentioned this bag specifically as being overpriced, not worth the money. This is Prada's Cleo bag. Now, I really like the look of this bag, honestly. It retails though at £2,400 in the UK, $3,250 in the US. I have some great alternatives. One that has just been released. The alternatives where I think you can get better quality. This is a brand new one from Celine. I love my Celine bags. The quality of them, is exceptional. And this is the new Lulu bag. So it has a kind of similar vibe, but it's slightly more slouchy. I believe you can adjust the strap on this one, and at this time of filming you can now pre-order them. The teen size retails at £1,350 in the UK, $1,950 in the US. So again, a really great saving of nearly £1,200 if you're in the UK, around $1,500 if you're in the US. Another bag that I would consider instead is one from indie contemporary brand Ateliers Auguste. Again, another contemporary brand that has exceptional quality. And I have one here. This is the Marceau in the box leather, and you can kind of see the vibe. We have the kind of half moon shape shoulder bag. You can adjust this strap. I can tell you the leather is absolutely beautiful. We have a zip closure for security and just a really simple, quiet luxury piece that's high quality and reasonably priced. Again, I will link this down below, and I do believe I might have a discount code. If I do, I will put details of that so you can save even more money on this one. This retails at £432 in the UK. So nearly a £2,000 saving on the Prada Cleo. Bag number 6 is one from Dior. Now, arguably, again, this bag is an iconic classic, but the price has creeped up over the last few years. To get a small version of the Lady Dior now, you are looking at £5,000, around $6,200 in the US. Now, the thing with the Lady Dior is there are downsides to this bag after reading reviews and having one of my own for a very short amount of time. I did have to return it due to quality issues, but the handles don't fold down on a lot of them properly. The charms also can be quite noisy, and sometimes they can be tricky to get into depending on if they have the zip closure, which is part of the older collection, or if they have the flap. I will say they do look really beautiful, but one of the alternatives I would consider is from another big fashion house, Fendi. Maybe not quite as popular as Dior, but I actually prefer, personally, the Fendi Peekaboo. For a small size Peekaboo, you were looking at around £3,700 in the UK, around $5,300 in the US. Now, I have my mini Peekaboo here. This is in a crushed velvet. Check the colours running through this. I just prefer it because you can use it in more ways. With the top handle, it does have a detachable strap as well, and you've got 2 compartments on either side. For me, I would prefer to save around £1,000, over $1,000 by getting a Fendi Peekaboo. I just think functionality wise, it probably is superior to the Lady Dior if you aren't so fussed about having a Lady Dior. The 7th overpriced designer bag on our list, I have to admit, I really don't agree with this one at all, but when I asked on Instagram, this one kept popping up, so I thought I would mention it in this video as to why I don't really agree with it, but I can appreciate where people are coming from. Now, this is a bag that I have recently become absolutely obsessed with, which is again why I don't necessarily agree. It's actually Bottega's Andiamo bag. Now, I have the medium size here in the fondant suede, and a medium size Andiamo currently retails around $5,700 in the US, around £4,250 in the UK, which is a lot of money for a designer bag. But the reason I don't agree is that Bottega's bags, and until I actually had this bag in my collection, I knew Bottega's quality was good, but I didn't realize it was quite this good. I would compare the quality of this bag to brands like Hermes. It's literally like top tier. The leather is so beautiful. The way it's made, how versatile the bag is, how quickly you can like change the straps up and how you wear it. I've been using mine non-stop. I do appreciate though that there has been a recent price increase from Bottega. I believe it happened at the start of 2025. And I think these used to retail around £3,600, £3,800. Now they're over 4,000. So I totally get that. There was quite a big increase of around £400, I believe it was. That being said, I don't know of an alternative that is as good a quality as this one. So what I would say is, why not check out the pre-loved market? Because there are some Andiamos that are at better prices than retail. I personally picked this one up from Fashion File, and I believe I saved around $1,000 on retail price when I purchased this through the Fashion File website. So you can definitely pick up some really fantastic pre-loved bargains. If you do really like the woven leather effect but are really against getting a Bottega, a brand that I would recommend instead as an alternative is Dragon Diffusion. So this tote bag from them, which features like a woven leather, this kind of a similar effect but not a similar effect, but they do a lot of the woven leather pieces. I've seen them in person. They're definitely not up to Bottega's quality or standard in my opinion, but if you like this effect and don't want to spend multiple of thousands, then this could be a really great option. The next overpriced luxury bag on our list is one of the most interesting case studies I have seen in the luxury world in a long time. So this brand has taken one of its iconic classic. What they have done to this bag is make it hyper relevant like I've never seen before. And they've also managed to use this particular bag as a fantastic price anchor. My background is marketing, and one of the things when it comes to pricing product correctly is you use price anchors. So you set a price quite high, you might have something low, and generally people will go for something in the middle. What Louis Vuitton have done with this overpriced bag is completely overhaul the price anchor. Like, they have reset it right up here. So now it seems like the lower end of this bag, what is available, is super reasonable. This bag came up a lot on Instagram when I said overpriced bags. This is none other than Louis Vuitton's Speedy P9. So the luxurious Speedy P9 was released as part of Pharrell Williams' Spring/Summer 2024 menswear collection. We have seen it donned on the runway multiple times ever since in lots of different colour options, sizes and materials. So let's put this into perspective. A Speedy P9 25 size retails at £7,100 in the UK, $9,300 in the US. And expect to see even higher price point versions of this bag. We have just recently seen this in a Himalayan croc. I believe it's got diamonds on the chain. We've even seen a diamante and pearl version of this bag. I believe this one retails at $24,000. We've also got some ostrich leather that's just recently come down the runway. And this is what I mean by price anchoring. By starting the Speedy P9 25 at over £7,000, over $9,000, a canvas version of the Speedy now seems far more acceptable. These start at £1,440 in the UK. Now, because the higher price alternative is so different, this is just a brilliant marketing strategy. So you can get in on the Speedy action at a much lower price point, and I actually bought my own version of an alternative of the P9, and it is my Speedy 25. This is in the black maltage leather. So this is a full leather Speedy bag from Louis Vuitton, and I love that the zipper on this one goes down the side and it is leather lined. You get the strap with it as well. So it's not Speedy P9, but it is a full leather Speedy, and this one cost me, I believe it was £2,500. So still an investment, I totally get that, but a lot cheaper than having to buy a P9. Now, I don't know if Louis Vuitton sell that exact bag anymore because it's not on their website, but some alternatives from other brands. We've got the Loewe puzzle bag, the small edge bag. This one retails at $3,850 in the US. This is a full leather bag, and not only that, you kind of have the slouch. It's low key, which I personally really like, and it's a full leather bag. Another more affordable alternative to Louis Vuitton's P9 is the Hudson bag from Aspinall of London. This one retails, it's kind of a similar style, a full leather bag, £555 in the UK, $940 in the US. Overpriced bag number 9 on our list, and this is the one that I agree with the most, as well as you clearly did on Instagram because I was inundated with responses. This was the most responded bag when I asked which ones are overpriced. This is none other than Chanel's classic flap bag. Again, another icon, but arguably an icon that might have gone a bit too far. Let me know what you think in the comments, because a small size of the classic flap is going to now cost you. I remember when they used to be about £5,000–6,000, they were at a premium price point, but ever since then, a small one now. By the way, the small classic flap is small. I've seen the medium, I've had that in person, and it doesn't fit a whole lot. Small size, £8,500 in the UK. I believe they're over $10,000 in the US. This is wild to me. Now, if you love Chanel classic flap and it's, you know, an icon, you really want one, I do think though you can make some great savings on the pre-loved market, especially on the larger, like jumbo sizes of the classic flap. I also think it's absolutely worth looking at Chanel's seasonal range of bags, because there are often pieces that they have that are quite similar to the classic flap in some ways, but they're a lot cheaper because they're not the classic flap. Case in point, and I bring this one out a lot, this is my Chanel Business Affinity. So we've got the quilted stitching. This is arguably a much better bag than the classic flap in terms of usability. We have a pocket on the back. I put my phone in there. It opens right out. We have a zipper compartment on the front. I love this bag. I don't believe that you can get the Business Affinity anymore, but just as an example, this one retailed at around £3,100 when it was in store. So a great saving versus a classic flap. So definitely don't discount some of the seasonal styles. They're more unique and better priced. Now make sure you don't go anywhere, because coming up next, the best, worst designer bags that you could buy this year and why. Enjoy.